You are not broken. You do not have a disorder. You are not uniquely damaged. You are not falling apart in a way that requires medication or a therapist or a self-help book. You are, in a very specific and diagnosable sense, blasé. And a German sociologist named Georg Simmel explained exactly what that means and exactly why it was inevitable in 1903. Before smartphones, before social media, before 24-hour news, before the era of infinite content produced specifically to stimulate your nervous system, he diagnosed the exact condition you are in. And his diagnosis, once you understand it, is not depressing. It is a relief. Here is where he starts. The human nervous system, Simmel observed, is not built for the modern world. It is built for a world of limited stimulation, a small community, a few dozen relationships, predictable days, a pace of change slow enough that the nervous system can respond to each new thing with genuine feeling. Then, the city. Simmel was writing about Berlin in 1903, one of the first truly modern cities, where a person might encounter more people in a single day than their grandparents encountered in a lifetime. The metropolitan individual, he wrote, is bombarded constantly, faces, noises, events, information, transactions, strangers requiring instant evaluation, friend or threat, reliable or not, interesting or irrelevant. The nervous system, designed for dozens of genuine responses per day, is suddenly required to process thousands. It cannot. So it does what any system does when it is overwhelmed. It stops responding. Not completely, not visibly, but gradually, quietly, the depth of response diminishes. The things that once moved you stop moving you. The experiences that once felt significant feel flat. The emotions that once arrived with full force arrive blunted, muffled, like sound heard through glass. This, Simmel said, is the blasé attitude. Not laziness, not depression, not a personal failure. A physiological survival mechanism. The nervous system protecting itself from overload by turning down the volume on everything. The essence of the blasé attitude, he wrote, is an indifference toward the distinctions between things. Not that things are not perceived. They are perceived, but their meaning, their value, the ability to distinguish between them, appears as something meaningless. Things appear, to the blasé person, in a homogeneous flat gray. And here is the part that makes Simmel different from every diagnosis you have been given. He does not say this is your fault. He does not say you need to try harder to feel things. He says, this is the mathematically inevitable result of the environment you are in. If you expose a nerve to electric current continuously, it stops responding, not because it is broken, because it is doing exactly what a nerve should do. You are not broken. You are accurate. Now stop. Because this is the moment Simmel, writing in 1903 about a German city, becomes more relevant than anything written in 2026. Simmel was writing about people who encountered a few thousand stimuli per day. You encounter tens of thousands before noon. Your phone delivers a constant stream of faces, events, tragedies, triumphs, outrages, jokes, products, crises, each one designed, by engineers who have spent billions of dollars to produce the maximum possible stimulation in you. And each one that fails to hold your attention for more than a second is replaced by something more extreme. The algorithm that shows you content has learned that blasé people need stronger stimulation to respond, so it escalates, more extreme, more alarming, more outrage-inducing, more emotionally manipulative than the last. And the nervous system, already turning down the volume, turns it down a little further. The loop accelerates. Stimulation increases. Sensitivity decreases. Stimulation increases further. Sensitivity decreases further. Until, at some point, you are sitting in front of content that would have horrified an earlier version of yourself, and feeling nothing in particular, and wondering why everything feels flat. Here is the second thing Simmel saw that is equally important and almost never discussed. The blasé attitude is not only a response to overstimulation, it is also a response to money. Specifically, to a world organized entirely around monetary exchange. In a world where everything has a price, everything becomes equivalent, everything can be expressed as a number, measured against everything else, compared and ranked and evaluated. This, Simmel argued, has a profound effect on how we experience quality. When everything has a monetary value, the qualitative differences between things, the things that cannot be quantified, the particular texture of an experience, the specific way a moment feels, begin to fade. The relationship becomes a transaction, the experience becomes a product, the moment becomes content. And the person, surrounded by more beauty, more experience, more of everything than any person in history, feels less. Not despite the abundance, because of it. The paradox, Simmel identified, at the heart of metropolitan life, and therefore at the heart of modern life, is this. The city gives you more freedom than any previous social arrangement, more anonymity, more choice, the ability to be whoever you want, without the weight of a community that has known you your whole life. And the city produces, in exchange for that freedom, a specific and irreducible loneliness, physically close to thousands of people, spiritually distant from all of them. Simmel wrote, "One can never feel as lonely and abandoned as in the metropolitan jungle." He was describing Berlin in 1903. He was describing your phone. Simmel himself was a paradox. He spent decades at the University of Berlin, unable to get a full professorship, partly because of anti-Semitism, partly because his thinking was too unusual for an academy that preferred its philosophy compartmentalized. He lectured to packed halls of students, and was turned down for chairs that went to lesser thinkers. He finally received a full professorship in Strasbourg 4 years before he died. He died of liver cancer in 1918, 6 weeks before the end of World War I. He lived inside the overstimulation he diagnosed, without the tools to reduce it, and he left behind an essay, 24 pages long, that reads like a field guide to the present. So what does he want from you? Simmel is not prescriptive. He does not offer a cure. But he implies one, quietly, in the negative space of everything he describes. If the blasé attitude is the result of overstimulation, the path back to feeling is the reduction of stimulation. not as a spiritual practice, not as self-help, as a physiological reality. The nerve that has been overstimulated recovers when the current is removed. The nervous system that has been blunted by constant content begins to recover sensitivity when the content stops. Not permanently, not completely, but enough. The fact that you feel less than you used to is not evidence that you are becoming someone who cannot feel. It is evidence that you are becoming someone who has been overstimulated for so long that your nervous system has developed an accurate and intelligent defense. You are not broken. You are blasé. And there is, Simmel would say, a difference. This is Philochemy. We will see you in the next one.